Good morning, everybody. It's so good to be with you again today. My name is Amy, and we are starting off today's Wild at the Waterhole, live at the Waterhole at Oldonyo in Kenya. And what a beautiful scene to start off our morning. It's always wonderful to be able to see so many different locations and what's going on and what animals are around all over Africa, including here in Kenya. Beautiful elephant bull just having a drink, and lovely impala walking across now as well. Quite overcast today. Ernie T, good morning to you as well. And Jumbo, I believe that is the greeting of Kenya or East Africa that they say there. And yes, look what we do have here. It's amazing to have this elephant bull. What a privilege to just watch him go about his business. Always puts me in such a calm mood, just seeing such a gentle giant having a drink at the waterhole. I see that there are quite a few clouds in the sky in Kenya, but let's have a look at what's happening with the weather across all our locations. Lovely. Not quite so hot as we had a few days ago, but nice and mild, still quite warm. See, the clouds are moving very quickly here in Kenya. Maybe a change of weather coming, or explaining why it's a little bit cooler. It'll be interesting to see how that affects the weather tomorrow as well. Oh, I see an oryx walking just behind the elephant. I wonder if it's gonna come forward to have a drink, or if it's gonna, oh, got a friend behind it as well, or if this elephant is gonna hog the water hole, and only when he decides to go, the others will come forward. Oh, beautiful. Nancy, good morning to you as well. So lovely to have you join us this morning. I'm sure you, just like myself, are excited to see what happens at the waterhole today. It's so wonderful that we get to connect with so many of you from all over through this show. And just see how this elephant will. I think he's had most of the water that he's wanted to. He's now just really relaxing. Look how he's sitting his trunk on the rock, actually having a rest. Oh, I see an oryx has braved it, come forward to join the elephant by the water. Very cautious though. Here comes the second one. Incredibly beautiful antelope. I do actually see a second elephant approaching now from the left-hand side behind the one elephant bull. It'll be interesting to see what the oryx do with the second elephant approaching. Sherry, you want to know how big I think that elephant is. It does look massive, and I can assure you it is massive. I think if you were probably standing next to it, oh, your head would maybe just reach its belly, or like where sort of its knee, just before its main body starts. No, I mean it is huge. I think that elephant probably weighs between maybe 6 to 7 tons. It's a very large male elephant. You can just see how that the one elephant approached, and those oryx were out of it. They were not sticking around. So probably about 4 meters or so to 4 to 5 meters high. Impossible to say for sure, but they are definitely bulls as well, so they get a lot larger than the females. You would see if a female was to stand next to these boys, she would probably only take them about to their shoulder or so. There would be a whole head higher than them. We still have these two elephant bulls drinking here at the Waterhole, just taking their time. Oh, the oryx is coming back for some more water. It's amazing how it goes in waves. Oh, did you see that one? Just use its horns to chase the other one away. A little bit maybe too close. Need some personal space. If we look at these two bulls together here, you'll see that the one on the left does look a little bit bigger than the one on the right. Also, have a look at their tusks. You can see that the one on the left's tusks are a lot longer and quite a lot thicker than the one on the right. So those are all little indicators that we can use to see that at least we can't give an exact age, but the one on the left would be a little bit older than the one on the right. Catherine, good morning. You say you are in a cold and wet Germany. Well, this is a very nice escape for you. That you can be all cuddled up and warm, I'm sure, and be watching the beautiful animals in Africa doing their thing in the, well, relatively very warm weather, I suppose. Thank you for joining us, and we're so glad that you can be here. Often we do find that elephant bulls will associate with each other just like they are here. They won't necessarily be together all the time, but often as the bulls get older and they've been pushed out of the herd by the females, and they have to go on this journey of discovery and growth as a young male elephant. And that can obviously, they are social creatures. They've grown up in a herd all together with their moms and aunties and cousins. And so it's quite nice for them to find some sort of, I guess, comfort in a way, but just association with other males. And so they will, as bulls, they will often, you might find one completely on its own. You might find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them together. And would refer to that as a bachelor herd. Venens Williams, I believe. Apologies if the pronunciation there isn't exactly correct. But you say that the size difference there is pretty amazing. Yeah, exactly. It is something that as you spend more and more time with these animals, you get to notice these little differences. And especially even though they are almost the same height, the one on the left is a lot fuller. I mean, look at that head in comparison. If you look at the two, the one compared to the other, you're really looking at a much larger skull. The temples there above the eyes are more sunken in. The tusks are bigger, a lot broader as well between the tusks there, which also is another sign of age. And as the one on the right grows over many, many years, elephants live for a very long time. So it takes a while. It takes many years for these things to sort of change and be able to age over many years. It would be actually interesting, and I wonder if anyone's ever done it, to almost take a picture of the same elephant every year or every month or something like that, to actually see the growth in one individual over time. I think that would be very interesting to see over 40, 50 years, to just see sort of what ages they really start to show these very clear signs of being a lot older and a lot more mature. I see the oryx are back again.
On Woodbury Lodge's episode of Destination Safari.
I'm so used to views I forget to mention it sometimes. Underfloor heating in the bathrooms, air conditioning, all those luxury items.
Dinner is a full three-course meal, starter, main and dessert.
Early morning drive, and on that drive you might see some slightly different things, some rare things.
Destination Safari, bringing luxury safari travel to the world.
Well, we now have this elephant bull right in the middle of the waterhole, giving himself a good old splash. This is one of my favorite things to watch elephants do. I think it is amazing how accurate they can be with their trunks, how they're able to get the water and the mud to cover their entire body. Great, makes for a great picture as well. Seppo, you want to know how come animals can drink from these water holes and why we, I assume you meaning humans, cannot. And it's actually quite simple, really. Their stomachs are a lot stronger than ours, so they have a different makeup of bacteria and enzymes and things, those little things inside their tummies, which allow them to break down and to withstand a lot more sort of bacteria and germs and that sort of stuff. Whereas us as humans, we have a lot more sensitive stomachs, and we would never be able to drink that water. We'd get very sick. Not that they also can't get sick from very, very bad water that they could possibly drink. It would just take something quite serious to actually affect them. So yeah, it's all just about the fact that they've adapted to be able to be out in the bush and to live off the water that is there. And so their stomachs have adjusted and have specialized, like I said, microorganisms and bacteria and enzymes and things that help them to be able to be more resistant to the germs and the possible diseases and things that the water carries. Oh wow, having a little scratch on the leg there. How cool is that? So he finished with his time at the waterhole, had his drink, took his time, threw some water on himself, and then had a nice little scratch. And now I'm sure he's going to head off into the bushes surrounding Oldonyo and start to feed. All right, well, we will leave this elephant bull to continue his drink. We can come check in on him a little bit later, see if he's still here or not. But we're going to head to Comfort's Dam and go look at some flamingos. So they are still here. They have not left us yet. In fact, more and more are going to be arriving. Rolf was saying, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but there actually seems to be more here than when we first started coming to Comfort's Dam. So they are arriving, and yeah, soon there will be, I don't know, if we do zoom out at any stage, we can actually see exactly how many have all arrived here and are together. I do know that from this, with the camera angle, these flamingos do look quite white. However, if you do look in between, you can see those very pink legs, and should any of them lift up their feathers, there's a very, very dark pink right underneath there, which is their typical color. All right, so there you go. That gives more of a fuller picture as to how many flamingos are here. So it's interesting to monitor over the, exactly how many more are going to arrive. We do also apologize for a little bit of audio breakup there. There are also a few other birds around. I do think the one, it just popped under the water, was a little grebe. Flamingos are very interesting birds. I think they are extremely unique in not only their shape and their color, but also just a very, different birds. The way they flock together like this, they do migrate, but not really. They don't have a fixed migratory pattern, but they do move from one area to the next for breeding. They flock together like this so that their breeding can be more successful. So they'll flock in hundreds and thousands of birds. Hundreds or thousands, not hundreds of thousands. And so it's just interesting the way that they feed. You can see they actually them sticking their long necks under the water, their heads, in order to feed on algae and things like that, which they eat. Dream Wild, you want to know how long flamingos can stay underwater for? Well, just from observing them now, it looks like it's a few seconds at a time. They're not an animal such as a hippo, for example, that has the ability to sort of stay underwater for like 5, 8 minutes at a time. Um, I don't know if there is a specific time given, but like any sort of, I guess, aquatic bird that feeds in water, they can definitely go under the water. We can see that by them sticking their heads underneath. But it seems to just be a few seconds at a time. I will try and find out for you if there is a specific measurement of time. I know that the whole standing on one leg thing was for 4 hours. It seems to be the maximum that they've been observed to stand on one leg for. But I will try and find out if there's a specific time that they sort of hold their heads underwater. But from my understanding, the way that they feed, it's just a few seconds at a time that they put their head under for, see what they can filter feed in, and then lift their heads up again. They would be, they don't need to swim underwater for long periods. That wouldn't be necessary for them. But I wonder if there is maybe a time that has been recorded that a flamingo has kept its head under the water for. CJ, you say that this is a lovely flock of flamingos. Yes, good alliteration there. No, they are beautiful.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to capture a snapshot of wildlife in its magnificence? Our naturalist, James Henry, has spent his life creating memories through the lens, and he wants to share them with you.
From the sublime to the ridiculous, everybody.
Join James for a photography hangout where he will entertain you with safari stories through some of his best photographs and color grade them live. Come along for the fun. Wild Earth, it's in your nature.
beautiful. We are going to leave these flamingos to continue. Looks like they're all waking up, preening themselves, getting ready for the day, and head over to Vincent Juma. How beautiful is this? So lovely to see a herd of elephants coming down to drink. I think let's take a moment to just take it in, listen to all the sound. There's some beautiful birds calling. We can hear the water from the elephants' trunks and take in the scene. Ernie, hello. You are saying what a lovely Ellie sighting. Absolutely, couldn't agree more. It is so lovely to see these animals coming down to the water. I think elephants drinking is one of the most entertaining things in the world. There's always something to watch, always something happening, especially with the little ones. I love how sometimes they don't even bother about their trunks. They just go straight into the water with their mouths because they're not sure how to use this thing yet. And then sometimes when it's really warm, they'll go right into the water and have a full-on swim. Other times they'll just splash themselves. Interesting to see the one on the far right there actually. Oh, she's just moving. But I don't know if anyone saw, but what she was doing with her trunk. So elephants are quite fussy drinkers. They don't like to drink dirty, very dirty water. In fact, if they can choose, they would rather. I think we saw last week at one of the pans, they actually didn't use the waterhole, but they used the fresh reservoir where they can get cleaner water. You can just see that one's doing it now as well. They actually use their trunk to swish the water back and forth on the top, so that the top layer that might have any little mites or bits of sand and dust are swished away, and then they get the cleaner water that's underneath. That one looks like it's just having fun now, squirting water out its trunk. This little one on the left seems to have found some sort of a twig or branch or something that it's been playing with, putting it in its mouth, it's dropping it out and picking it up again. There it goes, it's picking it up again. Have a look at the little one in the middle. So it looks like from this distance is a bit tricky to say, but I think it's not like right by the water and then will chase off. I really do enjoy chasing birds around the water. They're still quite small, and then it might start chasing antelope as they get bigger, but I have a lot of fun doing that. Wow, but there are quite a few elephants here. See if I can count them, but I'm guessing about between 10 and 20 or so. Wow, so that was very interesting to see. Now all of a sudden these elephants are moving off to the left. There was obviously some sort of a communication there from the matriarch, which would have been the female, I guess, leader of the group, usually the oldest and biggest female. And we can't always hear their communication. So there was a clear sort of decision made there. Oh, it's time to. It'll be interesting to see what they do from here. Often, sometimes, once elephants have been drinking, they do enjoy a little bit of a dust bathe. They move off in the shade of the trees and throw some sand on themselves. Eating after that. Terry, you are loving the babies. I do too. Elephant little ones are adorable. I don't think there's a better word to describe them. They are absolutely the cutest things. And yeah, there are quite a few. Often in these breeding herds is the mothers and their young. So although elephants don't have a breeding season per se, they, with quite a few females in the herd, they can all have little ones at the same time or very close to one another. So we often do find a lot of small ones within herds of elephants. Ooh, I see the one on the left looks like it's making some mud and starting to spray itself a little bit. Just see it using its front foot to dig a little bit, so mixing the sand with the water and then the trunk to splash itself. Okay, we are going to leave these elephants to continue enjoying their time at the waterhole while we head to Jamala and see what we can find there. Wow, a very different scene here. Some blue wildebeest and zebra hanging around the waterhole today. Do apologize for that, for any audio breakup there, and also any construction sounds you may hear here at Jamala. there may be some in the background. But have a look at this vegetation, so different. We are a lot further up north here compared to the likes of, let's say, Djuma. You can see it's a lot drier. Look at the trees, not very green at all. So just a different, more arid landscape to some extent. I wonder if these animals have had a drink already, or if they are just being super cautious as they usually are and checking the scene first before they come down to the water to drink.
Do you want to touch the lives of future protectors of our Earth? Thanks to our wonderful WildEarth explorers, WildEarth Kids is back. Sign your class up for WildEarth schools and enjoy a special virtual field trip to Africa with interactive learning tailored for kids.
Very warm welcome to the kids from WildEarth Primary School.
We'll be dedicating the first hour of sunset safaris every Wednesday to our planet's future defenders. WildEarth, it's in your nature.
Ooh, I see something coming down on the hill. Has anyone else spotted them? Well, here we go. Some more elephants for us this morning. I spotted these two coming over the hill, and now they are making their way what seems to be like straight towards the water. It's also, if we do pan a little bit to the left, yep, that wildebeest is really getting stuck in the sand and mud down there. It's having a good time. I love watching elephants come down to the water. They always seem to be wanted. A little bit of a hop in their step. Oh, there we go. So they have found the water. We can't actually see it from our side, but clearly they know the good spot, their preferred spot. And as the morning is going on and the temperatures are rising, of course, the day doesn't start at 29 degrees. It starts a little bit cooler, and as the day goes on, the temperature rises. We'll see more and more animals coming for their drink. Especially that of sorry for any break there, everyone. But yeah, these elephants are, as I was saying, just as it's heating up, there will be more and more of them that are looking for water. Elephants do need to drink multiple times a day, so often we will see them throughout the day at the waterholes. Seems like these two weren't exactly happy with their stop. So it seems that elephants are the order of the day today. While these two carry on drinking here at Jamala, let's go have a look at the one that's arrived at Tau Lodge. Oh wow, looks like not only elephants but also quite a few birds, wildebeest. Lovely to see. Let's keep an eye on him though and see what he does. Was just trying to look at his trunk to see if it was a bit darker than the rest of his body, if he has actually already had water or not. But he seems to be sniffing something on the ground there. I'm not sure what caught his interest. Sometimes I wish I could get inside the mind of an elephant. What are they thinking? Taking a few steps backwards. Interesting. Such a beautiful scene with his reflection in the water as well. Can't say for sure what he's doing, but just by watching him with his trunk almost sniffing certain spots, I wonder if there may have been a herd of elephants that have passed through here. Very likely, actually. I have seen elephants here before. I heard drinking. And just sniffing, picking up on certain scents that have been left behind, if there's anything worth for him as a male elephant to follow up on, or possibly seeing who's been where. Just interesting. I don't know, maybe it wasn't elephants, maybe he smelled the scent of a predator that walked past. Elephants are so sensitive in that way, and they can detect all these things through their incredible trunks. But now he's decided that this is the spot for him to have some water. And just behind him are some wildebeest that have decided to have a little bit of a dust bath. I can see them rolling there. Alright, so we have some viewers all the way from Japan, I think it is, and they are saying how beautiful Africa is. Thank you so much for watching and loving our beautiful continent. It is, we love it, and we're so happy that we can share it with you and that you're enjoying the show. All right, well, that elephant did have his brief drink and has headed off. There he is, just on the right-hand side. But we are going to head back to Kenya, to Old Donyo, and have a look at some zebra. This must be one of my favorite scenes here. I just love when all these zebra come to the water. I think it really is so dazzling, and they're black and white, and it's just a little bit of chaos actually, but very, very beautiful. So it seems like they have had their water, but you never know. These animals do sometimes surprise you, and not all of them might have got their full share of water. But these zebra here seem to be very black and white. I think when they all stand together, the zebra that you find in South Africa, their shadow stripe is a lot more prominent compared to these. I know it has been said before that it is there, it's just not as dark. So these zebras look very clean, if I can put it that way. Their white is very white and their black is very black. It always surprises me that the zebra is the color it is. If you think of colors of the bush, black and white don't generally come up as, if you look at these oryx, that sort of khaki brown color does blend in very well to the environment. But believe it or not, when zebra are in the bush, and I guess that black and white together almost forms like a gray when it's all mixed together with the surroundings. And that dark and light, the camouflages the zebra actually really nicely. It's amazing, but it's true. Oh wow, look at that. You can really see those colors beautifully now. You can also see now, looking at them from the back, how those stripes extend all the way down the legs, right down to the hooves. In South Africa, our zebras are a lot more faded, although you do find some with stronger markings, but this is incredible to see across every single zebra. Those markings, it's literally like it's been drawn on with permanent marker. That's how dark and bright they are. looks like this oryx on the right has some, I want to call them freeloaders, but hitching a ride. And looks like some oxpeckers are just perched there on the back of him. Difficult to tell from here, but I think they are red-billed oxpeckers. Incredible to watch those birds. Actually, we just saw that one move down the rump of that oryx and onto the tail. They glide so effortlessly on the animal, the way they have the specialized little feet that latch on and allow them to actually sit on animals vertically so that they can get in and under everywhere they need to be to try and find the parasites and the ticks, which is what they feed on. Also in this frame now, you can actually see where this oryx gets its name from. So have a look at the ears. A little bit different to the ones we find here in South Africa. They've got almost like little fluffy edges. And that gives the name the fringe-eared oryx. The zebra's turned back around, which is great. Seem to be decided that going back wasn't the right direction. They're going to head forward now. But beautiful to watch them walking across the screen like this. Can even hear some zebra calling actually.
Not everyone gets excited to hear a leopard chuff, spot a pangolin, or see a real impala rut. But if you are wild about the wild, you can become part of a community of like-minded nature lovers and share authentic wildlife experiences with the world. Join the Explorers Club and you will also enjoy the many benefits that come with it too. WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature.
All right. Well, we were not disappointed. The zebras did come back to the water, and this is what I was talking about, like organized chaos. A few airlines in between there as well, just on the edges trying to get some water as well. But I just love this scene with all these zebra at the water. A lot of kicking, a lot of flicking, everyone trying to find a spot. You can imagine with it being so crowded, there's bound to be a little bit of, how do I put this? A little bit of tension with them all competing for the water. Maybe a little bit of irritation with each other, getting very up close and personal. I think what stands out to me a lot is those tails that are flicking back and forth all the time, like constantly swatting the flies and little parasites and things that are causing irritation on the zebra. Back and forth and back and forth. The Nance Williams, you want to know what these zebras are actually doing and if they're fighting. But no, they're not fighting. They are drinking at the water. That's what they're doing. And what I was referring to earlier was just that when there are so many together, really close to each other, obviously the waterhole isn't that big. And so with them all trying to drink at the same time, there might be a little bit of irritation between certain individuals that are maybe just a little bit too close or have taken the other one's drinking spot. And so the one might chase the other one or just nip them on the ear or something like that. But there's no serious fighting, as it were, going on here. Well, this has been really lovely to see these animals. They might even still be around when we come back. But for now, let's head to Nkoro and see another herd of elephant coming down to drink. Wow, we've been spoiled today. There we go. Seems that there are a lot of little ones here as well. One just coming out from behind mom there in the middle. how lovely to just take in the sounds of that. And enjoy a beautiful scene of these elephants now just moving off. Had a wonderful drink, now making their way road. I'm sure they're going to surrounding in Koropan. Eating. Beautiful. I love watching elephants from their apologies for any audio breakup there, everyone, but we are going to link across to Jamala. Looks like these two elephants are still here. They've clearly enjoyed a really nice drink this morning.
Discover the wonders of the wild with Safari Snaps, Africam's fun community game. While enjoying the live streams, simply tag the animal you spot. Each tag earns you points based on the rarity of the species. The rarer, the more points you score. Your profile and the Safari Snaps leaderboard will keep track of your impressive tagging skills. Join us on Safari Snaps and let's celebrate the wonders of African wildlife together. So these two elephant bulls have moved from the right-hand side of the waterhole to the left-hand side of the waterhole.
I thought maybe the one was going to start splashing itself with mud, but who knows, that might still happen. As I said earlier, sometimes I wish I could know what these animals are thinking, but clearly that spot, they've had the water they wanted from there, and now they want some water from here. Also, just to apologize for earlier if there was any audio breakup there, but it seems to be all is back on track. I was also just having a look at the zebras that we can see there. Now at Jamala back in South Africa, it'll actually be interesting to have a look at those zebra and see if we can see the difference between the ones that we see here and the ones that we saw in Kenya, and just those markings and those stripes, what I was speaking about. It's interesting to note on these ones. Okay, there we go with the camera. Thank you. We can see that shadow stripe a lot more prominent there now, and then also down the legs, a lot more faded in color. There we go. So just not as striking. Still striking, they're still beautiful animals, but we can see that difference in comparison to the zebra that are up in Kenya. Still the same species in terms of this one and that one, still plains Birchall zebra, but just different genetics there, clearly. These animals are really getting the last of the grass they can find now in winter. I do feel sorry for them. I don't think that can be very tasty or very nice to eat on the palate. But I think they are finding some little green shoots around the waterhole here. So the zebra, just actually like the giraffe, have many not just species but also subspecies. So in genetics, and obviously with the location of the zebras being in southern Africa and then in East Africa, the plains or Birchall zebra have different subspecies with slight genetic variations, and obviously part of that is the markings that we see. The other completely different species that we get in East Africa, which we wouldn't see in South Africa, would be the gravy zebra. And that I haven't seen at Oldonyo yet. I don't know if they have been seen there, but that would be really special. They are quite endangered. And those have a very clear distinction in their markings with the stripes that don't go underneath the belly, so they get cut off there. But yeah, it's interesting, all these species, subspecies, and it's so great that we have the ability through Live at the Waterhole to be able to view these animals in their different locations and to learn more and more about the beautiful animals that we get in Africa. All right, well, from one waterhole to another, let's go have a look back in Kenya at Oldonyo and see what's happening over there. The zebra are still around, clearly enjoying the water. The eland and oryx also around, I guess trying to find a gap between the chaos that is the zebras at the waterhole. Does seem to have quietened down a bit and a little bit more calmer. I think that is because some of the zebra have moved off, so perhaps they are coming to the end of their drink. But you never know. I don't know. There seems to be an endless supply of zebra at this waterhole. Just when you think it's over, then more arrive.
Those sounds just go straight through you.
Well, we are going to leave the zebra and giraffe now enjoying the water and head off to Nkoro to see what's come down to drink. Oh wow, from one elephant herd to the next. This is a real treat. And it just shows, like I was saying earlier, that rising temperature triggers the elephants. They know that now's the time to go find some water. And generally, especially now, between sort of 10 to 12 o'clock, and then again in the afternoon between 2 and 4, although there's no rules, elephants can drink anytime, but generally those are the patterns that we find with these animals. Oh, just look at the little one right in the middle. Is able to use its trunk quite well, so it's not tiny. Would be over 6 months old. It's been able to use that trunk a bit, but still very, very cute. This one in the middle is walking further and further in. I wonder if eventually it's going to go for a swim or not. Oh wow, look what's coming down. Some more Ellies. I think we might be in for a treat here. And just look how excited they are. You may even hear a trumpet. Sometimes elephants do that when they're excited and on their way to the water. Oh, that little one can't wait. Look at it. What's interesting, as that new family group of elephants approaching, the ones who have already had their water do move off for them. Just that little bit of understanding and respect is really a beautiful thing to see within the animal kingdom. Fiona, you and me, we are feeling the same way. You say, yay, more Ellies? Absolutely. How fun. You can never get enough elephants, especially when they are coming down to drink and there's babies, and there's just always something to look at. There we go, Mom. There's actually another little herd coming down there, 3 of them. But this little one and Mom are trying to get the freshest water they can from, looks like where it's being pumped from. Oh. These ones are also moving off as the other 3 arrived. Look at that. Making way for them to also come have a drink from what seems to be the favorite spot. In the weeks and months to come, it'll be interesting to see the elephant behavior change as it gets hotter and hotter and eventually arriving in summer. And I think when they get to the water holes, they're just going to dive right in to cool down. But for now, they're just drinking. There's the odd splash here or there, but they're not desperate to sort of cool down. It's not that hot yet. But still enjoying the water and the coolness and the refreshing feeling that comes from getting some water. Oh, one's just sat down on the bank, the little one. I wonder if it's tired or if it's just having some fun. Oh, did you see what it did there with its trunk? Just swinging, chasing that lapwing away, just like the other one at Juma. Wolf elephant is just wasting water now, taking it up and squirting it out, having some fun. Perhaps it's trying to make a bit of mud. We'll see what it does afterwards. I've sometimes seen elephants do this, and then they're actually creating mud for themselves, which they then flick up. And done. Let's check if there are any more at the water. No, it looks like they are all moving away. Let's pan around and see if we can find them again. If they've head off in the same direction as the other ones, if they're maybe starting to throw some sand on themselves. For now, just walking down the road. Well, that was lovely. How nice to see those elephants. And even more elephants come in and drink. But let's head back to Aldonio and see what's happening at that waterhole. Oh wow, look at this. The variety of species that we see here is always incredible. Such a nice mixture.
you love relaxing at a waterhole with the sights and sounds of Africa all around you? Well, we have some really exciting news for you. From August 1st, Africam is joining forces with WildEarth to bring the majesty of Africa right into your living room with 9 incredible new waterhole cameras from across South Africa and Kenya. Get ready to embark on a new journey. This is Live at the Waterhole.
You're still here at Oldonyo, far less zebra, but a lot more oryx. One giraffe just in the middle of the waterhole enjoying life. You can just see how it's looking in one direction. Possibly, I know there was another giraffe that walked off that way, but perhaps just something moving in the bush. Blinking its eyes there, but flicking its ears forward again, just listening. I think that's what it was watching. Sorry for the audio breakup there, everyone. I think it was just watching the giraffe approaching. The giraffe was really thinking about it, but decided that maybe those zebras were a bit too close. Choosing another spot now to try and have a drink. These oryx are a lot more civilized than the zebra from earlier. Letting each little group have a turn instead of all running in and oh, some there that just had a flash.
Did you know that the WildEarth team makes weekly behind the safari content? Would you like to get to know the WildEarth family better? See how we live.
This is Igor's bedroom.
Learn about our production process. And see the antics that happen off camera. Sign up to be an explorer and you will get access to all this content and more.
We are still here at Oldonyo. Things have quietened down somewhat. I've been watching these oryx walking around, and especially the two just opposite the zebra now. There seems to be a little bit of a dominance, something happening there, a bit of tension. The one has been following that smaller one around and resting its head on top of its back. They've been hitting their horns together a little bit. I even saw him try and mount the other one, which, although that is to do with mating, it also has to do with showing dominance, especially between male zebra do exactly the same thing. You can just see there how he's constantly lifting up the head and putting it on top of the rump, just following. I think they are two males. I'm not 100% sure. It's just a bit tricky to tell from this distance. But it's interesting. The whole time, even when there were all the other oryx were around drinking, that one just didn't lose sight of this one, constantly following it around, back and forth, back and forth. And obviously when that one in front gets a bit irritated, it turns around and they knock horns a little bit. Dream Wild, you and me both. You said that you really like this waterhole and how many animals come to it because it's always busy. And I agree. I just think that there's always something to see, even if it's just the birds. But absolutely, it is something. Only place like it in our locations in terms of just the frequency and variety of game that come through consistently. It is amazing. Those two oryx on the right seem to be having a little bit of a tussle. I wonder if it is those two from earlier that I was talking about when they were walking around. Well, let's leave these oryx to finish off their drink and head back to Jamala, where I believe some more elephants have come down to drink. Wow, look at that. We have been absolutely spoiled today. So wow, have a look at this. This is really interesting. So if you have a look at the group of elephants that are standing by the water, they look brown, like brown elephants. I think the ones on the right were the bulls that were here a little bit earlier and they've moved off and they look like the normal color of the elephants. Now, promise, it's not a different species or a different subspecies. They are all the African elephants. However, what's happened here is I think that these elephants that are closest to the water have been covering themselves with sand or dust of a certain area. And so the color of the ground has now ended up on their bodies, making them look like brown elephants and not gray elephants. Should they get themselves very, very wet here at the water, that dust will obviously wash off and they'll be back to their normal color. I see some little ones on the left there having some fun. in the mud, playing with their brothers and sisters and cousins. There seem to be 3 little ones there that are all about the same size. The moms are just keeping an eye on them to make sure no one gets hurt. I saw that the bigger one standing behind them earlier get involved and push one little one away. Elephants are amazingly protective and great mothers. And the way that they look after their young and the babies are such a priority for the herd is really incredible.
Stay up to date with the latest happenings at WildEarth. Discover what goes on behind the scenes and get a weekly recap of the best moments on the channel.
He's got it! And he's straight up a tree!
Sign up to be an explorer and receive our newsletter written just for you and sent straight to your inbox every week. WildEarth Explorers, a club for people who are passionate about nature.
Thank you for joining us and have a fantastic morning.
We are still with these elephants, but now the one bull elephant has actually moved across and is coming to join with the herd. I'll be interested to see what there's any sort of interaction between the bull and the herd. Maybe he just got thirsty again. I'm just watching the behavior of these elephants here, and it seems that the bigger ones are almost standing around some of the smaller ones, and really not many of them are drinking. I know we can't see on the other side of the elephants, but I wonder if there might be a few of the younger ones still by the water. And so the bigger ones are just protecting them a little bit as they're still busy. Two little ones having some fun on the left there. Looks like the bull has a bit of a lump in his trunk. But these elephants are looking very relaxed. Like it might be time for them to move off. Bit of nudge.
Chatting around a fire is an ancient practice that has connected humanity for centuries, and we want to keep it alive in our modern age. As an explorer, you'll have access to intimate gatherings with our naturalists, fascinating guests, and experts where we share knowledge, insights, and stories around a crackling fire. Rediscover the power of connection. Sign up to be an explorer today and experience the magic of WildEarth's Fireside Chats.
These elephants are still enjoying just being around the water. I think one or two are still might be having a drink. They did seem to be moving off at one stage, but they've slowly gathered back and have been drinking. As well as, I think, just relaxing, taking a break, saving up some energy. I'm sure wherever they're going after this, they'll have to walk and travel, and I think especially in winter they do have to travel a lot further between water sources and to find more delicious fresh vegetation. So they do need to have a break every now and again, especially with little ones. I mean, their capacity to cover distance is way smaller than a fully grown female. Mr. H, it's an absolute pleasure. I'm so glad that you've enjoyed the show. I've definitely enjoyed being here with you and looking at all the wonderful animals that we've been able to see today across different locations. Definitely think the highlight has been elephants. But also all those zebra together and the oryx as well. That was awesome. And a little bit of flamingos as well. We can never not have a look at those and see what's happening at Compass Dam. So it's been all together a wonderful show. Just hear canoeing in the background. As wonderful as it has been today, the best part is that if you want to, you can join again tomorrow when Live at the Waterhole returns and we get to spend some more time across Africa looking at different places and locations where we get to look at what's coming down to the water every day. But thank you so much to all our viewers for watching the show and commenting and all your questions. They are always appreciated. We look forward to seeing you again here tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.